Alright, as time goes on, I feel more inclined to just talk about things that are going on in the world. It's been a while since I did a little bit of one of these sit-down talks. Now, this talk, it could be a little bit political. Some people might think it could be, but I'm not big into politics. I don't like even bringing up politics on this channel. I'm just not big on that kind of stuff. But I do like talking about things that I feel matter. And this may bring in some kind of politics, but just know I don't have a political side. It's not something I necessarily care about. I'm just gonna be talking about some stuff I feel like should be talked about. And I think the easiest way to say this is that there's a war going on the other side of the world, that is Palestine and Israel. Now, okay, so recently I've been seeing on online this flotilla that's supposed to be heading towards Palestine, because if you don't know, Palestine is in, I think, a stage 5 famine. I think other places like Sudan are as well. And a flotilla, which is basically a big barrage of ships, was supposed to be sent over to Palestine. Okay. Supposed to be sent over there so that they could kind of suppress the famine and get food to some kind of people. I know some activists were supposed to be there and stuff like that. And they were intercepted by Israel, which is now currently occupying Gaza, or basically Palestine. But what I wanted to talk about was how unfair I feel like this whole thing has been for not just, I guess, Palestine, but for the whole world, because everybody comes together and says, hey, this is bad. You can't just kill kids and women and commit war crimes, because Israel has been trying to occupy Gaza for a while. Like, I think it's been close to 70. I think it's been close to, I think the history dates back to around 70 years ago. I don't know if that's right or wrong. I think if you maybe ask a person who's true Palestinian from the heart, they'll really give you the real history. We know it's not right. We know it's wrong, but what can we do? That's why I'm making this video. I feel like I should do my part. And oh dang. Anyways, I think it's wrong to use women and children as a front to murder. Not using women and children, because they're doing an ethnic cleansing is what they call it, where you kill people because you hate them, alright? There's no other reason, and they're masking it using an excuse. They're saying that, oh, Palestinians tried taking revenge on us, so it's okay for us to take revenge on them, and any humanitarian aid to help them is a terrorist attack. That's what I saw a video earlier of a... So I just think that's completely unfair, and I feel like it should be spoken about. I know this is kind of a serious topic. Is there any solutions to this problem? Because this is obviously a problem. You can't just say, oh, there's a terrorist organization in this, city or country, and there's people standing in the way, so we're gonna kill the people standing in the way. That's just inhumane, you know what I mean? Like, I shouldn't have to be even saying this. I guess this is what our world has come to. Now, solutions. Is there a solution? I don't know. Is there a solution? And I think there is. I think a peace treaty, and I think a lot of people bring up a solution in which they each get their own country that's separated by land, but at this point, they've kind of flattened out oh, thank you, sir. They've kind of flattened out all the land that Palestine would technically have. So at this point, I don't think that solution's much of an option. You can't just say, oh yeah, we've been fighting over like this golden apple for this entire time, and I sat on your side of the golden apple, and my golden apple's completely fine, so I'm gonna just let you keep the one that I sat on. It's just unfair. I think this whole thing is quite unfair, and I think that these people should, and they are, like, there's so many people coming out saying, yo, this is wrong. Like, even people like Candace Owens, and I think before Charlie Kirk was sadly assassinated, even he had cut ties with AIPAC and the people that were funding him. This is stated by Candace Owens, by the way. I don't know for sure. I'm just going to follow Candace Owens' word, who was a great friend of Charlie Kirk. I'm just going to go with her word and say that, that Israel's playing this funny card here, and I'm surprised Israel even got this much power, I mean, I know this is a little weird to do this over a little bit of Bed Wars commentary, but Now Israel's gonna keep using excuses. I don't know who this video is gonna go out to. This could go out to the people that care, the people that don't care. This could go out to just a bunch of people from Israel, and this video could go straight. This video could straight up go to them. And now, what do you want me to do? This comment section is gonna be filled with a bunch of people who hate me. But I don't really care. I think people, like, even if you're on both sides politically, like maybe you're an activist for Israel or whatever. I mean, I would say take a look at your stance and say, like, if I was a part of a side of people who would do scummy things and commit war crimes that are set in place, that aren't just like war crimes that say, oh, you can't do this in war because it kind of messes up with the war. No, it doesn't mess up with the war. You can't commit war crimes because they're inhumane. They don't just hurt like a side's military. You're hurting the souls of human beings and their family members and stuff. War crimes they're in place for a reason, because there's a line that you don't cross no matter what you're trying to get done. Meetings at the UN, people should go up to Benjamin Netanyahu's face and say, yo, this is wrong. You cannot be doing this. They go up to the Israel's spokesman and say, yo, this is wrong. People protest, yo, this is wrong. But I don't know if it's with the pride of Israel. I don't understand. I think the best thing I can do in my position is talk about it. And the best thing I could do, and I think you can do in your position, is to talk about it maybe to friends. I don't know. It's hard to bring up these subjects to even friends. Like, I would say talk about it to your friends. Let them know. Be like, guys, we got to figure out something. And I think it's working. I think the more people talk about it, it gets out there. I just feel so bad for people that have to go through stuff, because we are all, like, I guess it doesn't matter because we are all literally, like, straight up living the life. Like, we have food and water. We have all this stuff. Like, but you just got to put yourself in their position for just, like, 4 seconds and just be like, man, like, what is going on, bro? I just felt like it was, like, I just can't just, like, sit there and be quiet. Like, I'm just so tired of it. You feel me? Like, I feel like everybody's just so tired of it. Like, people just try to, like, okay it and be like, well, they did something first. You don't fight back fire with a nuke, you know? I hear a lot of people saying that, oh, they're hiding behind civilians. That's why these civilians are dying. Come on, I seen a comedian go over this. It was Bill Burr. Bill Burr brought up this conversation about, like, if you put somebody hostage and you held a gun to their head and you're using them as a body shield, as a human body shield, you're not just going to shoot through them. You're going to get a sniper to pop them, you know? Save the innocent life. The second you shoot through them, now you're being questioned. Did that action needed to be taken? When somebody takes somebody hostage, that means they're not going to kill them. At all times, that always means, like, if you guys put yourself in the shoes of a murderer or somebody who has to hold somebody hostage, you're not gonna murder them. You gotta get up out of there. Their sides don't make sense. One side is making sense. Aid is being, like, it's just so nasty that, like, they had to intercept the aid. Like, what would you do if you went to, like, the doctor and he's putting a band-aid on your boo-boo or whatever, and then somebody just walks in and goes, yeah, and just in the head and then takes away the band-aid. Like, that doesn't make any sense. You need help. You don't have a gun. You're not threatening the doctor. You're not even doing anything. It's just so stupid. I think if you're on that other side, I think you should reconsider your position. Not politically. You know, politically do whatever you want. I don't care. Just vote for whoever you want for. Just think to yourself, like, if I was in a position that the person I'm trying to support is going against what I want to be supporting these people. I mean, it's kind of all I wanted to talk about. I wanted to raise awareness. If you don't know, I know a lot of young people might not know, but a lot of young people do know. I guess everybody does know. I'd be surprised if you didn't know. I remember this thing that Muhammad Ali said. He said, when he was being forced to fight during the draft for the Vietnam War, he says, no Viet Cong never did nothing to me, so why would I fight them? Don't support nobody if they never did no good for you. Alright, I hope I could bring some hope to this cause. Kind of maybe open a couple of your eyes open. Or I just think bad things should not happen. And I think everybody needs to take action. I think none of us can take action because we don't own any militaries, you know? Do you guys want to be a part of my military? But even then, my military would be too far away. And if I talk about creating a military, then I would be considered a terrorist. But even then, I would just like to say, if you've ever studied government in America, Federalist Papers state that if the government becomes too corrupt, or the people start hating the government and they are becoming too radicalized, the Federalist Papers do state that you can deconstruct the government and create a new one. Other than that, I'll have to see y'all in the next one.